So in this video, I will be teaching you some of the basic vocal warm-ups that we will be utilizing this semester and throughout the rest of your time here at South Johnston if you decide to stick within the choir. Now, vocal warm-ups are important because your voice is just like any other muscle in your body. It needs to be properly taken care of and properly warmed up and stretched before you do any kind of intense vocal work, such as singing or even speaking. You hear some of these, some television people, radio announcers, TV anchors. Most of them will do some sort of vocal warm-up. Even actors, you'll hear them between takes. They'll be doing some kind of vocal warm-up to get their voice woken up and ready, energized and ready to go for what work they need to do. Same is true especially in choral singing. Your voice is just like any other muscle in your body. Before you work it out, you need to wake it up, stretch it, and warm it up. Because, like I said, just like any other muscle in the body, it can be injured, okay? We're trying to do everything we can to take care of this voice. So in this video, we'll teach you some of the basic vocal exercises to get your voice warmed up, ready to sing, so that you can live a long and happy and healthy vocal singing choral life. So this first exercise is known as do, fa, sol, do, and we'll be using solfege syllables, and I'll get into those a little bit later in another lesson, but for the sake of time for this lesson, we're going to be using solfege. If you are familiar at all with anything with the sound of music, then you know about the song Do, Re, Mi. Do, a deer, a female deer. Those syllables that Miss Andrews was using is solfege. It is a syllabic type of language technique, that turns or gives a syllable to pitches, and we'll get into that lesson a little later. But suffice it to say, we're going to be trying this exercise. Do, fa, sol, do. This is what it sounds like. This is our overall tonal key. So it's going to sound like this. Do, fa, sol, do, mi, fa, re, mi, sol, la, sol, so, do, ti, do. And I'll have a graphic on the screen so that you can see exactly how this is going to look, and the way so that way you can see the pattern of this exercise. So again, it goes like this. Starts on do. This is our key. Starting pitch. 1, 2. Do, fa, sol, do, mi, fa, re, mi, sol, la, sol, so, do, ti, do. Now you can take a breath after the second set. So you have do, fa, sol, do, mi, fa, re, mi, breath. Sol, la, sol, so, do, ti, do. So the goal is to do 2 lines. There's going to be 4 lines of text. You'll see on your screen here in a second. To do 2 lines between on one breath. So you have first 2 lines. Do, fa, sol, do, mi, fa, re, mi. Take a breath. Sol, la, sol, so, do, ti, do. And in between those lines, I want you to crescendo, which is an Italian term to mean get louder, increase volume between the phrases. So 2-line phrases. Do, fa, sol, do, mi, fa, re, mi, sol, la, sol, so, do, ti, do. That's the first exercise we'll do. So another exercise we do is an exercise I like to call the Wizard of Oz, because if you ever watch that classic film, you'll see and hear that the witches' guards were going, oh, oh, something like that. That's their marching sound that they do. So we're going to do a variation of that as a vocal exercise, and it sounds like this. Oh, oh, and it's just a 5-note scale. Going from 1 to 5, back down to 1. Oh. Now the trick to this one is having proper placement, and I'll get into that and into another lesson as well, but proper placement of the shape of the mouth, okay? The tongue should be forward, tip of the tongue, should be at the bottom of back of your bottom teeth, just like this, okay? The tongue, open mouth should be nice and open. If you ever have taken a bite of something hot, okay? Imagine you're about to eat something very, very hot, but you don't know how hot it is, okay? And you automatically open that mouth, and it's too hot. What do? You automatically suck in some air, open up this space in the back of the mouth, which is lowering the back of the tongue, okay? And raising what's called your soft palate. Your mouth has two parts to it as far as the roof of your mouth. You have your hard palate, which is basically the base of your skull, bottom of your skull, inside your mouth, and then just a little bit farther back in the mouth, there's a soft, fleshy area. That's called the soft palate. You have palate of your mouth. It's two parts. Hard palate, bottom of the base of the skull. Soft palate is just a little bit farther back. When you take in that breath of air to open up that mouth, to let more air flow through to cool off that hot food, that instinct is to open that and raise that soft palate and lower the back of the tongue and open that mouth. So get that feeling in your mouth while at the same time relaxing the cheeks, keeping them nice and forward. Oh, completely relaxing that tongue. Completely relaxed, not engaged at all, no tension, activation of the tongue whatsoever. And this is the way the exercise goes again. Oh. Let me go up a half step. Oh. Now it's important that you slide the last from the top note down to the bottom note the last time through. Kind of like you're falling off a cliff. You ever hear a cartoon character when they fall off a cliff? Same thing, same sound. Another thing you need to remember is when you're doing the wee, make sure you're not doing oh wee oh. Don't let it go too far east-west. The corners of your mouth need to stay nice and puckered, in line with the rest of your face. Keep them in line with like where your tear ducts are. Keep those cheeks, corners of your cheeks, in line just like that with your eyes. Okay? So you have oh wee oh, and you see where my hands are? Oh wee oh. You see the corners of my mouth did not go past my fingers. Didn't do this. Oh wee. That's out of bounds. Out of bounds. Oh wee oh. Just like that. Okay? So that is Wizard of Oz. Now this next exercise is going to involve the lips. So we want to have the lips nice and loose, and this is just a way to kind of get the blood flowing to them, get them woke up a little bit, get some feeling into them. And it's just a simple lip buzz. So if you just take your lips gently, don't press them together too hard, okay, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get the sound out. Loosely have your lips together and move air through the lips. Like that. And if you have problems with that, try taking your hands, putting them on your cheeks, pushing your lips forward so that you're forcing yourself to do sort of like a duck face, a little bit of a pucker, and just make sure everything's nice and loose, the jaw is relaxed, and let that air flow through the lips. Now we're going to add a pitch to it. Simply do it on 2 notes. This is for the boys. Just 2 simple notes. And then we're going to slide in between each one of the notes. So slide between, just like you're moving a slide whistle. And it's going to vary between person to person, but you should feel most of this vibration right behind the face mask. If you have your sinus, your brow bones here and your cheekbones here, if you put your hands right on your face mask area, feel that. You're going to feel a little vibration with your fingers, but you're going to feel most of it from the resonance, the sound resonating and vibrating inside your sinus cavities, which is above your eyes and in your cheekbones. If you've ever had a sinus headache or any kind of sinus issues, that's where your sinuses are, right here behind the cheekbones and above your eyes and a couple other places, but we'll get into that later in the semester. But suffice it to say for now, for the lip trills exercise, nice, tall, deep breath. We're standing up nice and tall as we learned in our posture video. Posture lessons. Chest is nice and high, raised up out of the way. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck and head are loose and relaxed as well. As we do lip trills. On this pitch. Ready? And go. And then we go up a half step. And here we go. Up another half step. Up another half step. Just like that. And you can also switch to a tongue trill. This will help loosen the tip of the tongue up a little bit as well. You can do the same thing. I think we were in this key here. So it's going to sound like this. Now you may have to use a little bit more tongue engagement, tongue muscle engagement, excuse me, to get that place just right. But the tip of the tongue should be on the back, should be at the roof of your mouth, just before you get to the place between your teeth and the roof of your mouth. There's that little dental ridge that goes between the top teeth, right here, and then the roof of your mouth. There's that little ridge there. So that's where your tongue should be to do this exercise. And it helps me to pucker my lips just a little bit to move things forward. And if that helps you, pucker your lips a little bit there as well. Up a half step. Up another half step. And up another half step there. So that's going to be our lip and tongue trill exercise. Now that also you can do, that was just 2 notes, but you can also do a 5-note exercise, which is a pentatonic scale. 5, penta means 5, tonic sound. So 5 sounds, pentatonic. As some of you may know from the group Pentatonics, which is not the correct spelling of it, by the way. But either way, nice group, love their work. So this is what it sounds like on a 5-note scale lip trill. Tongue trill. And that is a lip and tongue trill exercise that you can do. Many type of variations on. You can play around with it as far as what notes you want to sing. You could even do 3-note scale, kind of like a little puffing exercise there. So that's one we can try as well. You can have a lot of different exercises to try, and we'll do some different ones as the semester goes along. So these are just a few of the exercises that we will be utilizing in class, and there'll be some more coming along the way. Some different ones and some other techniques to get your voice warmed up and ready to sing and sound beautifully.